All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Get Into It. My name is Mark Roberts. This is Rod Rinks.
We got Wings Nichols.
That's right.
Did you have wings last week?
No, I'm on a health kick right now.
Oh, God, get over it. I'm having some tonight. Friday.
You know what? Wings are really unhealthy. I thought wings, like you were having chicken, it's good for you. There's no thing. Wings are like dipped in butter.
Right? Deep fried.
They're deep fried.
No.
Dude, they're so bad.
Keto diet, bro. Keto.
Are they part of? They're not part of any diet, I don't think.
No, of course, keto diet. It's still chicken, right?
No.
I've had the fake ones, the vegetarian ones are the worst.
Anything vegetarian. Although I like tofu. Tofu's good.
Really?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I'm not a fan. No.
But welcome to Let's Get Into It. We're going to get into a few things today. You know, I was thinking about how much I like this podcast.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah, I listen to it every morning.
Yeah, I like listening to what we're talking about. It re-inspires me, redirects me sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how you do that. And then I also like the idea that there's a lot of possibilities all the time in entertainment.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misconceptions, things that I didn't realize when I got into the business. For instance, I thought that if I made a movie and raised money, that I would be a millionaire. Right? I really did. I really did. I thought if I do this and I make a movie, I'm rich. Yeah. And that was wrong. That's not how it works. This is like any other business. You get paid a reasonable rate, and then you have to overwork yourself, and you're working more than you need to for the amount of money you're making. Yeah. And then in the end, it's really this passion job that you don't get paid a whole lot of money for. You probably spend more time doing it than you're getting paid per hour.
I would say you make less than minimum wage.
Probably. But, especially at the beginning. You know, let's say you sell an idea or go to a network. You know, if you've now elevated beyond independent film and now you're pitching ideas and you're pitching to networks and someone buys your movie or your script for your television show, and you're now going to get paid, that payment for you as a creator, as a producer, as a scriptwriter, whatever, is actually not going to be that high.
Yeah.
And I'll explain to you really quickly why. Because no one wants to hear they're not going to get paid a lot of money. So this will be the part where you like go get a sandwich or something because you don't want to hear this. Here's the reality is that people get paid minimums.
Yeah. You told me this the other day.
Yeah. And these minimums are not great.
I was not happy here.
No, they're
this.
not hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're tens of thousands of dollars maybe. And
in the beginning,
right? Because a lawyer will say, no matter what you created, you can create the biggest show in the world and sell it. When you sell it, it's not the biggest show in the world. It's just an idea for a good show that everyone might agree should be on TV or should be on a streamer or whatever. So they'll look at you and say, great, so what have you done before? And normally the answer is going to be like, well, I did a couple of indies.
Yeah.
They're going to say, okay, great. So then you're going to qualify to get $35,000 for your script or $40,000 or $50,000, whatever the minimum is.
You said 44 the other day.
Let's say it's 44. Now you're thinking, wait, that's not enough. I've spent my whole life with this idea.
Yeah.
I deserve
pennies.
To make hundreds of thousands
pennies
of dollars.
On the dollar.
My life's going to change, isn't it? And then someone on the other side of the table says, no, it's not. There's minimums. You really didn't make anything before, so we're offering you the minimum. And then you've got to build yourself from there. But here's my advice. Don't worry about what you're going to get paid for the first few projects. Just know that you're going to always come up with great ideas and that you'll sell one, you'll make minimum, you'll hope that it does great, because when it does great, then you can say to the next deal you make, well, I had to do with that show and it did really well.
Yeah.
And now I don't work for minimum anymore. I work for double minimum. So then all of a sudden you're $80,000 a script or $80,000 an idea. And that's how actors do it. That's how producers do it. That's how directors do it.
Yeah.
You know, James Cameron didn't start making millions of dollars a movie. He proved that every movie he made was going to make hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even billions of dollars. So what's that worth to you if you're a network, if you're a studio investing in James Cameron? All of a sudden, sky's the limit on this guy's payment, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. I look back and I think, had I known that I was going to have to always fight for my pay no matter what I was working on. I may have chosen to do something else because maybe I would have been a great salesman selling Mercedes-Benz or Jaguars, or maybe I would have been a great salesman selling real estate. Lots of people in the entertainment business go into real estate, right? Because it's a very easy transition.
You know what they also go into? Wine making for some weekends. For some reason. I know a couple people do that. But you're right. The misconception when you first get here is like, oh, I'm going to be rich and famous. It's not like that. And eventually you get smacked in the face with the reality. And then it comes down to, they say the average stay for actors in LA is 6 months. Because that's how long it takes to figure out how tough it is. And if you're into it, like if I could make what I make now probably and a little bit more, just comfort to feed my family, by making films, I'm happy. Like I will die a happy man if I could just do that. I don't need to be a millionaire. I'm past that. I don't need to be rich and famous. It's a pain in the ass. I'd rather just make I'd rather just do it for the love and the passion of the craft and what I really like to do.
That's awesome. I'll congratulate you on that.
So for instance, like I'm focusing more on writing. Why? Because I could do it. I don't binge watch TV. I don't go to the gym. Obviously, you can tell.
Well, I don't. You're the reverse, Jim. You're eating for a part.
Well, I did. I gain weight for this thing.
You're like De Niro.
Yeah, and when you said you got no choice, I got no choice.
If you lose all of this weight, then you will really be, you will be my hero because I'm
100% going to lose all the weight. You want to?
That's crazy.
We'll do a little.
How hard it is to lose weight?
I lost 40 pounds in 8 weeks, player. I've already done it a few times. But there's what I'm getting at is writing is something I could do anytime on my free time. I can keep my day job, and I wrote 4 features last year. 4 features in 1 year. Which I'm pretty proud of.
You may be a real writer. I don't know that many real writers. Like Richard Montoya is a real writer. Caroline Kepnes, who I would like to have on the show, and I think she would come on. She's a writer that if she doesn't write every day, something won't be right in her life.
That's how I am, dude.
But she's good.
Hey, this guy don't even read my style. He's so like we talked about last time. He's like, it's only horror movies and action. That's it. That's all there is. I'm like, dude, that's not me. I'm trying to tell him I wrote this amazing coming of age. It's amazing, and I actually submitted it to 2 festivals.
I fell asleep at coming of age.
What do you mean? You didn't hear Juno? Did you remember that movie?
Oh, Juno was great.
Exactly.
That one movie, Boy or whatever, that was a coming of age.
Dude, there's a ton of coming of ages that are awesome, dude. The Outsiders.
That was recent.
That was filmed over like 15 years, though. Remember? With the same cast.
Dude, that was amazing. That was a great movie.
It was something else. I don't know.
No, it was Linklater.
Yeah, it was Linklater. But what was the name of the movie?
Boy's Life. Boy's Life. Boyhood.
That movie starred
Patricia Arquette,
who went over like
and Ethan
7
Hawke,
years.
And they shot it over like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, Richard Linklater.
Yeah.
It's a period piece. I told you, you don't want to read it. I told you, but we were talking about this yesterday, and it has a lot to do. A lot of the music takes place in 1987. Smiths, the band, the Smiths, it's real. They're in it a lot. You know, like the music for them because it's kind of based loosely on my life, but that was. Was a strong presence in my life. And you're like, yesterday, remember this? Yes. And you said, well, do you get the rights to that? I said, no, I don't got the rights. How do I get the rights to it?
Well, we're going to get into rights.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. This is probably, as a producer, the bane of my existence because I can't always control directors. In fact,
you punched one in the face.
I did. I can't control...
Did you hear that?
No, we can't. I don't want to get into this story because then I have to name names and it's not going to be cool.
You don't have to name names.
I'll have to bring him in. I'll talk about it when he's in.
Oh, at least you guys are still friends.
Yeah, no. You know what's funny is I love him. I think he's a great guy. I think he's one of the funniest people I've ever met. But we were working on a movie he was directing, and he had worked with the composer for, I don't know, 36 straight hours. And I was showing up just to approve everything so that we can go to master. And I showed up at 9 a.m. with my coffee, and they were both bloodshot. And the director runs up to me and says, I have this epiphany. We're going to change everything. It was all wrong. We're going in this other direction. And the composer looks at me and says, I quit. And I was like, wait, hang on. Like, we're going to a festival like next week. You can't quit. We need to master right. Like, this has got to be the end of it. I showed up to just for you guys to tell me that we're done.
Yeah.
He's like, we are done. But if he does this, I'm done. And you guys don't get this. So anyway, the director got all crazy and I got all crazy and I dropped my coffee and I punched him and he fell into the drums. Oh my gosh. It was the craziest thing. And then I got calls from everyone on the crew going like, did you really punch him? We all wanted to do that. Anyway, we'll have to talk about that when
you got to bring him in.
I'll bring him in. But it is very difficult when you talk about licensing because so many people know successful bands. I've never realized how many people know a person who started a hit band.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think to get into this properly, what happens is you go out and you put together a movie, you do it independent style, which means you don't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Even if you have a couple $1 million, you don't have much money. You're spending most of that making the movie and paying people to do the movie and edit the movie, right? So at the very end, you end up with a very little amount of money left, but somehow you need to compose your music or you need to license music. Now, the misconception is, I know the guy in that band, and he said, I can use the music.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the problem with that. And I can say this to directors all day long, every single day, and they'll never hear it the way I say it. I say, okay, I appreciate that you know the person in that band and that they said you can use it, but there's two bodies licensing this music. They recorded it, then their record company owns it once they put it out and sell it. So the record company owns the master of that recording. The band owns the writing and the performance of that. Those are two separate things. So when you go to license music and I recorded the song and I sang it and I say, you know what, you can have my side. You still have to go to the record company and say like, oh, he gave it to me for free. And they're going to say like, well, we don't give anything for free.
Yeah.
So let's say half of them charge you the performance fee.
Is that for a band that just say like an indie rock band who had mediocre success? Like, I'm not talking about like, I don't know, Michael Jackson. Like,
no, well, impossible to get. If you said I need a Michael Jackson song, I say it's not going to happen.
How much would that cost? I mean, a guesstimate.
Let me think. I wish I had Joel High here. He's a music supervisor, but let's assume a Michael Jackson tune will cost you maybe $50,000, $60,000.
Damn.
And that's just one side. The performance side is another, unless they own all of it. Sometimes they own all of it. But
you're looking at $100,000.
Well, you're talking about a hit song that you're not going to use in your movie forever and ever and ever, because that once it's in your movie, it's forever in your movie.
Right.
So they've got to charge you accordingly. So here's the thing. If you're making a movie and it's an indie film, then set aside money to pay for those songs. Find out what they cost first. Get a music supervisor, which is very smart because a music supervisor has relationships with all of the record labels.
Yeah.
And they can call and say, hey, I'm working with this really cool movie. They'd like this song. They don't have a lot of money. He can explain and plead the case. I'm working on a documentary, and we're using a lot of Los Lobos songs. Now, Los Lobos notoriously are difficult to license, but because the documentary is about Carlos Almaraz, who they know, and Louis Perez did all of the music on our movie, who is in Los Lobos, we were able to write letters, do videos, show pieces of the music of the movie as examples of how we're going to use the song. So we were able to do a deal where we said, look, every song is going to get $100 a song. Not one song is going to get more. So when you license a song to us, we'll pay you $100, but we will not pay anyone else more. We promise. So a lot of labels appreciated that. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. If you sell to digital, if you go on and you sell theatrical, all that, you pay another $100 or another $250 or something like that.
Now, what about the flip side to that coin? If you say, listen, I'm making this movie, it's going to be amazing. You'd be lucky if I put your song in this. I'll think about it. What do you think?
To who? Who are you saying?
To the record label or whoever owns the rights to the music.
They'll say,
all right, good luck.
Good luck. Yeah.
Damn.
They'll say, have a good time.
Yeah.
But
there is a chance that could happen.
That you make a great movie?
Yeah.
They'd have to agree with you. That
Yeah.
you can't use you can't put music in your movie, screen it.
No,
at a festival, because there's also festival licenses. So you can go to these labels and say, look, I'd like to pay for the music for festivals and make a deal for if I sell it. But festivals could be, a couple $100 a song, $100 a song for a festival.
Right.
And then if you sell it and someone buys it, then maybe they can pay the difference on the song at that point. What I have done is when I know I'm going to have a composer on the movie, I'll tell the director, use any song you want for the editing. Any. Whatever you feel gives you the feel that you need in this movie, use it.
Yep.
Later, we're going to give the movie to a composer and say, here's the feel that they want for the movie. Write something that feels happy or sad or loving or whatever. And, it's really worked.
How much are composers? Are they pretty pricey?
It depends. If you know someone and you went to college with someone who's becoming a composer, they may...
or if you're trying to get John Williams.
You can't get John Williams.
Who's John Williams?
Jaws.
Oh, no.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic
Park.
Star Wars.
You couldn't get him, but
you could have gotten back in like 77 probably for nothing.
That's right. Bill Conti was nobody when he did Rocky.
No, he was nobody, yeah.
He was nobody. I think he was a college student. I want to go back to that story and figure out if that's true or not. But Bill Conti, he was nobody. And he wrote this unbelievable score. And you know what he went on to do next? He went on to do The Karate Kid.
Steadicam was invented amazing. On Rocky too. You know that, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, that guy that created the Steadicam on that. There's a lot of stuff like that.
But let's wrap up the licensing thing. If you're going to use music, there's two ways you can do it. Use it knowing you're going to replace it with a composer's work. Use it knowing that you can't afford Sting and U2 and Michael Jackson. So find bands that you can use. Maybe even use a music supervisor that can give you bands in the feel of the music that you want to use. So that helps.
Yeah.
Get a music supervisor. Tell them, I have $10,000. I'd like a couple of cool songs from some people and the rest could be unknowns. Then they'll give you music. And if you, like, for instance, for us, there was a connection to certain scenes where the subject in our movie knew the musician. So we were able to send the clip to the music company, to the label, show them the clip, say it mattered to him and it mattered to us, and have them say, you know what, that's fine, $100. In fact, the guy in our movie, Carlos Almaraz, loved Disney, and we used Fantasia in our movie. So we thought, we're never going to get Fantasia. We're never going to get Fantasia. It's a classic Disney movie. We're never going to get Fantasia. The filmmakers were like, please, you got to ask. So we took a clip of the movie, sent it to Disney, and said, we'd like to license a minute of Fantasia where Mickey's doing this and this oceans, whatever.
They laughed at you.
They looked at it and they said, you could use a minute of Fantasia for $2,500.
Wow.
And then they said, and you can use the 2 images of Walt Disney for $100 a piece.
What?
Yes. So that licensing is different. Now we're talking about picture licensing, about image licensing, about movie licensing. We also licensed a clip from Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is a classic movie from Paramount. Now, Paramount wasn't as cool as Disney. They charged us, I think, $7,500 for a few clips, a few cuts of, and it might have been 15 seconds, like something really short. But different companies have different rules.
Yeah.
Walt Disney is so connected to the person that created it, the namesake of the company, that if it means something to them and to him, and he inspired somebody, then they look at it a little bit differently.
Cool. So I'm my drug lord, who I got somebody really good to play.
Oh, who's
the drug lord?
Who's playing my part?
No, you were Marco Antonio. I got John Fitzgerald to play that, who did a really good job, by the way.
Oh,
but the drug lord, the movie's titled him El Chingon. That's what he calls himself. His real name is Armando Ochoa. I got somebody really good, dude. Really good. But anyways, my question is about images. I have a couple of these cool shirts. Well, they're kind of cool, ugly. And they're from like the early 2000s. Do you remember when the shirts, like the short sleeves, but they would put the like image into the material? Do you remember those? Do you remember those, Nichols? Like it would be like in the shirt would be like a picture. Like it wasn't screen printed, but it was in the material.
I've seen stuff like that.
You remember those back? So I have two that I kept. Scarface.
Nice.
One with the remember the Frank Lopez Motors, the tropical scene in the background,
Yes.
and he comes in with the gun, he's all shot up. I have that, and then I have another one of him walking through the streets right before he kills Hector. Would I be able to have my drug lord wear those shirts? Because it's Al Pacino, Scarface, in my movie, or will I have to get licensing for that?
Al Pacino's on the shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't use it.
Why?
Because it's a character that's owned, copywritten by Paramount.
But they're so cool. They're perfect for this character.
I mean, I would say that would be what a lawyer would tell you.
Yeah.
I would say as an indie, you can use it because they're probably not going to come after you unless it becomes a big hit. At which point, if someone goes to buy it from you
They'll
and
just
it's a
pay the
big
fine.
company, well, first of all, if it's Paramount buying it from you, they're not going to care.
Yeah.
Right? Because they own it. But if Universal's buying it from you, they're going to say, you know that scene where you use the Scarface character on your T-shirt in the scene? Do you have a license for that? You're going to say no. They're going to say, can you get one, please? So you could figure it out. And that might not be a ton of money, but, you know, all these little things add up. So license your, look, do your best to do a film within the parameters of the law, because now lots of people, there's entire companies looking for you breaking the law in your movie, using some image that's not yours in a documentary.
Haters, dude.
That's true. In a documentary, there's something called fair use.
Yeah.
If I mention you, I can use your image for a minute to explain to the people this is what I'm talking about. In a movie that's not that's fiction, it's not the same, because now I'm using an image that was paid for by someone else in my movie that's not real. That's not true. So you can't do it.
All right. I just thought I would. I mean, I have them. I found some other shirts online for like $20 that are real cheesy, but they're dope. So I'll just buy them.
All right. But that's the answer to that. I think that you have to try as a filmmaker to license all of the things that are in your movie so that you don't get yourself in trouble.
What about names? What about, okay, so instance, my lead character, my main character's name is Joe Aguilar.
Mm-hmm.
His real name's Pepe Aguilar, who's a famous Mexican singer. And when he meets the drug lord, Ochoa can't believe that his real name is Pepe Aguilar because he doesn't speak a lick of Spanish.
Right.
Do I have to license that too?
No.
I don't, right?
You can't copyright a name.
Perfect. Somebody told me the other day, someone who didn't want me to make this movie told me, oh, no, you got to get
You can't copyright a name, especially not if you're someone famous. You can copyright, like, for instance, you can't go in your movie and say, let's get ready to rumble. Like, you can't do that. That's copywritten. That's a phrase.
Can you go, let's get ready to, and then cut to something else?
You could say, let's get ready to get ready. You could do that. All right, but let's finish off with, like, licensing is important. You really do need to tell your directors to be careful what music they're using, unless you're going to replace it later. Then they just kind of go crazy and have a good time. And don't get attached to anything, because a lot of times directors put all this music in and they're like, wait a minute, I have to have it all. No.
Changes the whole film. I can't do it.
That's right.
Then you get punched in the face by Mark
Roberts. And then it's a very difficult conversation. So license it. And also, don't be afraid to go to Disney. Don't be afraid to go to Paramount. Ask them for the clips you're using. See what they'll cost. If you can't use the actual moving picture, then use still images. Those will cost less.
Yeah.
Or have someone animate it or draw them out for you. And you can draw out an image from any famous movie and use that, because it's not the actual image. It's your interpretation of that image. So lots of things to do with licensing. We'll get into licensing on other episodes and more specific stuff.
Yeah.
But for now, there is licensing of music. There's licensing of images. There's licensing of material. And all must be done. And you have to have all this paperwork together before you sell your movie, because someone will ask for it.
Damn it. All right. If
you want to make your movie and figure it out later, that's cool, but don't go crazy. Don't go
Yeah.
crazy, because then they'll come back and go like, oh, well, I saw the movie you showed me. That's the one I'm buying for 50 grand. And you're like, okay, great. But the music and all the stuff that's in it is going to cost 150 grand.
Yeah.
You'll be like, well,
just kind of be be smart.
don't get
Be
yourself
smart,
caught, because you can get in some quicksand in this business very quickly. But yeah, so be careful with that. And then, how's it going on your film? What's going on with
It's going amazing.
What's happening?
Like I said, I asked a buddy of mine, who, I don't know if I could say his name. I'll just wait. But anyways, he was he's an established, well-known actor. He fell in some hard times, but he's making a comeback. But he's really talented. And he actually he's raised in New York. He's played a lot of Italians. And he's got an Italian last name, but come to find out he was adopted. And he's actually Colombian, so this is perfect. So he's going to be playing a Mexican drug lord. And I told him, you're returning to your real roots.
That's so great.
But yeah, he said...
Isn't it funny how many Mexican, Latin American people have played for Italian?
Wasn't Anthony Quinn?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
Anthony Quinn. Anthony Quinn played
gangsters all the time.
Quintessential Italian guy, and he wasn't
Mexican. Yeah. So, but everything's going good. Like I said, I just wrapped up this other film that I wrote that you don't want to hear about called How Soon Is Now, Coming of Age. I just submitted as my first 2 festivals. So my movie that I'm making about the screenwriter who wins all this festival, I'm trying to I'm throwing it out there in the universe, and hopefully that'll happen in real life.
That's great.
But to the Austin Film Festival in the Nichols Scholarship Film Festival.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, those
you
two
could
ones.
win like an award of money.
You could win a lot of money.
Yeah.
$35,000 for the Nichols one, and then like $25,000 for Austin.
What would you do if you won the money?
Um,
Make another movie. Answer the question correctly, bro.
I mean, I would. You want the truth, or you want the
I want the truth.
fictitious?
I want the truth.
I would make another movie.
Thank God.
But I would take some of that and come on, dude. I got 3 kids and a mortgage. I'm just trying to pay my mortgage down. So I mean, the reality of it is like, no, because this is all me, which is great too. That's another thing. In the last year, I've written 3 of the 4 films are my films.
And people like them. People like what you're writing, which is great.
Oh my God. The guy who, the one short Lost in Story, the Argentinian guy, the director, he's like an artist. Like he started off as a photographer, and then he went into directing music videos, and now he's doing indie films. But he went and got like big names attached to it right away. And kind of like using your analogy about the building, that's what I did. It was a short. He wanted me to write into a feature. I did. He loved it. And then he took it, and now he's building this beautiful story out of it. And it was all the groundwork, the foundation, the world that I created. And last night he sent me over basically like a lookbook from his perspective as the director. Gorgeous. It's like amazing. And he's already been talking to like some pretty big people about funding. And like I said, he's got some names, recognizable names in there.
There's lots of good opportunities out there.
But they don't even know. He doesn't even know I'm an actor. Like the other day I told him, I said, hey man, I'm going to be late on delivering this because I was writing that film. I was writing that script while I was doing El Chingon Lives. Yeah. And so I texted him, and he didn't get it. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I just shot 16 hours straight. We did like 28 scenes. I got to sleep. And then when I get up tomorrow, give me until the afternoon. I'll deliver the movie. I'll deliver the script,
What do you think?
He said, I'm a fucking beast. That's what his words were. You're a fucking beast. Are you serious? And I said, yeah.
I like
that
he appreciated you.
Yeah. And so he goes, wow, you're an actor? And I said, yes. I mean, he just, it was like one of these things.
I'm going to tell you, I want to go back to what you said. It's not that I don't want to read your story. Actually, you know what? It is that I don't want to read your story.
You don't want to read it.
No, it is that I don't want to read it.
But, reading scripts is a pain in the ass.
It's not about reading. It's about understanding what it is that I am interested in and what I can sell. I already know that about myself. So I don't get into things where I'm pretty sure it's not going to be something for me. No,
and I know that, and I appreciate that. There are people...
Otherwise I say to you, right, you were going to say, otherwise I say to you, oh yeah, awesome, send it to me. And then I have this guilt over my head. Like every time I see you, I'm like, oh, I didn't read a script. Oh, I didn't read a script. But a lot of times it's because it's just something that I'm not. And it's not that I just do action and horror. in fact, just the opposite. I don't do that much action, and I don't do horror, but
well, that's
I do
what's
things
funny
that
when
I'm
you said
passionate
that.
about.
Like, you don't really do those, but I see what you're saying, because look at the things that are easily marketable that you can make the most amount of money is a horror movie and an action movie. Those things, like you said, internationally sell. Everybody gets scared. Everybody wants revenge.
Yeah, I mean, the other issue is that you've got a difficult time. It's difficult to sell a movie in this market that's indie these days. I don't know why. It's weird. I was talking to someone about it the other day. There was a time when you could make a movie and have a Mario Lopez. You could have any reasonable name that people knew about that was on a hit show. Put them in your movie, sell it to Blockbuster. You remember Blockbuster?
Yeah, of course.
Send it to Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
Sell it to HBO.
I would think even more than
I made deals. No, but I agree with you. It should be more. But I used to make a movie and say to the investor, guaranteed 50% back. Why? Because we're going to have a premiere at Blockbuster, or we're going to have a premiere sale at Hollywood Video. No worries. And I had the contacts to do that. It was no deal. So now it's just a matter, if we make a great movie, we're beyond 50. If we make a piece, you get 50% of your money back, and we had a great time. You in? People were in on that deal. Then Hollywood Video went away, then Blockbuster went away, and then HBO stopped buying from independent producers, which is a shame, because then all of a sudden we were like, okay, so where does the independent fit? Well, the only place you fit now is if you're able to make a movie that goes to a festival, does extremely well, and you get bought. Yeah. Because I don't know where else to be. You have to you can't just go on iTunes. I've had films where I put it on iTunes, I put it on Amazon, doesn't make any money. Yeah. Or maybe it makes $10,000.
Yeah.
That's not enough when you're spending millions of dollars on a movie.
No.
So you have to figure out a way to make great movies so that you can get noticed, or make a deal with a foreign distributor, or make a deal with a company that's got to deal with Netflix so that you can put your movie through the system.
But even that doesn't guarantee you anything, really. I mean,
it doesn't, and that's why you have to just keep making great movies, using good actors, and figuring out how to make something unique to this business, because everyone's making the same sort of stuff. Look at all the Christmas movies.
Well, you know what?
Tons of Christmas movies,
but
and
they make
all
a lot
sort
of money.
the same. Yeah, but they're all sort of the same, and people like it. People like being fed the Christmas movie. So,
well, because it's seasonal. You feel like, let's watch a Christmas. You know what I mean? It's like one of my favorite, The Family Man, Nicolas Cage. I love that movie.
Hey, let's head towards the finish line here. I'll tell you. So there's this magic about pitching, which is called enrollment. And there was this crazy time when I thought that I was only going to pitch and be ready to pitch when someone that mattered was going to be listening. So the problem with that system that I had was that I would pitch and I wouldn't be prepared. I wouldn't have practiced enough. So I would lose the person and they would be lost.
And that's it.
And it would be over. Then I started to practice more often. And the way I started to practice was I started pitching people me, my life, my things, what I wanted to do as practice. And I figured if I could enroll you with stories about me and my life, if I can nail that, then it would be a step in the right direction of a conversation with an investor. So one of the things that I really got into is the idea that if I lose you in a conversation, that I could actually get you back, that I could actually start pitching, lose you, and then say something that interests you in the middle of the conversation. What was happening is I was pitching, I would lose you, and then I'd get disappointed. And I'd be like, I lost them. And then I'd start fumbling over my words and be like, well, and then I'd try to add more story. And then next thing you know, the story got really long and it was over. Yeah. And I'd be bummed and it was done. But a pitch is almost like running the mile. You know, you start first lap, second lap, you might be middle of the pack. Third lap, you may have fallen back a little bit further. Last lap, third, second, first, and you can win.
Usain Bolt. There you go.
So you're Usain Bolt. So in a pitch, you could start pitching. You could realize what the person is potentially interested in not interested in. You can heighten your pitch by starting to talk about the key elements, the parts that hold up your story, the powerful parts that change your characters, that create the momentum in your script.
Yeah.
And end strongly with something that they're now connecting with. A lot of times your script has multiple stories in it, and they might not connect to everything, but they may connect to a certain character. They may connect to what's happening in the script. So I really do think that practicing on your wife, on your girlfriend, on your friends, constantly talking about yourself, your story, what you want to do, and noticing how people react to that.
Yeah.
And when you lose them, practice getting them back.
Yeah.
Because you do, a lot of times I'll go into a pitch at at a studio, and you won't know until you're done, because they're really good at keeping the face straight.
Yeah.
So you have to pitch and be really good at it and know that you have like this hump.
Yeah.
And that you're going to be rising in your story and that you're going to end it with a bang.
Yeah.
And when it's over, somewhere along the way you captured them or you didn't.
Yeah.
But don't give up. Just know that you have a great pitch because you've practiced it.
Yeah.
And then finish strong and let the rest fall where it may.
To put a button on that, Bill Gates, I read this the other day. Guess how many times he pitched Microsoft back in the day?
50.
1,200 times.
Whoa.
Guess how many people were in at the end? Guess.
5.
11.
Wow.
He went from 1,200 to like 600, 1,200 to like 400 or 300, from 300 to like 60. Of those 60, only 11 invested in Microsoft.
That's
Makes
it.
sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense. It's good.
I think we got into it. I think we got into a lot of different subjects.
I think we did. I like it.
Hey, thank you very much for listening to Let's Get Into It. Hopefully you picked up some pointers and some ideas and some inspiration.
Yeah. And go to our Facebook page.
And there's a lot of good pictures of my son playing
We
golf
got to put
on there.
more pictures on there.
Hey,
Nichols.
someone commented on Facebook. Did you see that?
No.
They said, thanks for doing the podcast. Not only is it about film, but it's sort of about business in general. I've learned a lot.
What?
Yeah.
And we have Instagram too. Let's get it. Let's _ into it or something like that. Let's get it. You'll find it. So, come on. We know we're not. That's it.
That's it. See you next time. Thanks a lot.
Cool.